I need to make space. How am I going to make space? Let's see. Who is coming off the wall today? Why not open a blood angel? Let's see if I can get him. Come on. I'm going to rip the box. It's okay, because the box is going to be opened anyway. All right. Let's open a blood angel today. I know, the Sailor Moon figures are a little out of control. Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. This figure is heavy. Like, I opened the Battle Sister, the Adepta Sororita, a few weeks ago. She wasn't this heavy. He a hefty boy. But I know why you're here today. We're gonna free a blood angel. Let's do it. So, we all know that I loves the Warhammer. Not a little, a lot. Yes, that's a Darth Vader purse back there. There's a Hello Kitty purse hanging under it, because that's how she lives her life. But I think my love of Warhammer is only rivaled by my love of Sailor Moon and the Transformers. There are tons of properties that I love out there that I would never actually collect figures for. Like, I love Steven Universe. I think Steven Universe was a really fun, cool show. Yes, I know it's been broken down to death about what did stuff really mean. Whatever. It was a great show. I love a hero arc. I love a relatable hero. I'm into it. Love Steven Universe. And y'all get off Pearl's back. Okay? Anyway, there's tons of anime that I love that I would never collect figures for. I mean, one, there are so many anime. But anime is, it's one of those types of media that if when you go down that rabbit hole, you kind of can't get yourself back out of it. Like, I go through phases in watching shows. Like, I'm never up on what's new and great. Like, I think the most current thing I'm watching, things actually, would be Spy Family and Chainsaw Man. Like, I'm looking forward to when those come out. Like, Chainsaw Man, like, I watched that, like, on a weekend, binged it. I was like, this is great, best show ever. And then I binged Spy Family, of course. And when the new Fruits Basket came out, I binged it too. Fruits Basket was one that I actually did get figures for. But those are, like, that's very rare for me to collect specifically anime figures. I was really into Rurouni Kenshin growing up. The original Rurouni Kenshin, I heard that they're redoing it, which I'm all for. I liked what they did with Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Like, wasn't it 12 years apart, 12, 14 years apart from the original show? That was crazy that they redid it so quickly, but it was good. Like, I liked what they did with Hohenheim. The story just, like, made more sense, like the whole equivalent exchange thing. Like, you got it in the first series, but they really hammered home, like, why it was such a big deal. And it's like, but anime, because there were so many of them, so many great series, it's hard to develop a good collection unless you're just obsessive about a particular one. Like, anime in general is just really hard, at least for me, to collect, because to find that attachment to a show enough, like Ouran High School Host Club, I've watched it 700 times. Easily. Love it, think it's hilarious, would watch it any day of the week and laugh my butt off. But I don't have a single piece of collectible from it. Like, when you're collecting, you have to decide, like, how you want to use your space. There's not infinite space, even though I live in a family of nerds and we are all collectors. Eventually, no matter how many shelves we build, no matter how many cool ways we figure out to display stuff, in 30 years, there's not going to be any more space for stuff. Like today, this morning, when I got up before I started my day, earlier today, I went through my shoes. Like, I have recently bought like 6 or 7 pairs of shoes. 15 pairs of shoes had to go. Just that's how I make space. But this is something that I don't typically get rid of. I used to have a huge Barbie doll collection, but specifically the princess Barbies. When they were doing the princesses around the world, like Princess Japan, Princess Korea, Princess Africa, Princess Finland. I loved those, but I ended up giving all those away to little girls just because they weren't, like, I collected them just for the sake of collecting them, but I was never like, oh, I gotta have them. So those got given away, and that was like 30 dolls that I gave away. There have been some smaller Sailor Moon figures I've given away to my best friend growing up. She got some little sets from me. They were like little pin sets and stuff like that. They were complete, and I gave those away. So I have actually given figures away. Like, I have a ton of Taekwondo stuff. If you're into a martial art or a sport, you know that it can take over your closet. It's next to the cosplay. Like I just bought another cosplay dress. Like my husband and I do the SCA, the Society for Cultural Anachronism. I think last time I mentioned it, I said Society for I'm sorry, Society for Creative Anachronism. I just got in here, don't come for me. But I said cultural instead of creative. Anyway, people who love the Renaissance, the medieval times, and all that. But I just got a new dress, so it's going in there. You know, like collections can just grow and grow and grow, and they can grow out of control. You have to find ways to have a collection that you love, but not let it take over your home to where it's unlivable. Like I have a firm rule that if I cannot display something beautifully in the way it's meant to be displayed, then it cannot come in the house, which is why I took a figure off the wall, because these shelves back here, these teal ones, I need to open more things that for some reason I've left in boxes that never needed to stay in the box. Now that I've moved, I've settled, I know I'm not going to move again. I'm fine with taking stuff out of the box now. So that's the other thing. We have to become comfortable that everything can't stay in the box. And you become comfortable with that when you decide you're not going to sell the precious thing. Like my kids, my stepkids can do with Omega Supreme whatever they please when I'm no longer on this earth. But today he stays there. You know, they can do whatever they want with my collection when the Lord calls me home. But for now, it's here and it stays. So, like I've just started the little minifigs from Bandai Namco, like those little bitty chibi cute ones. I've got 4 Spy Family that I got for Christmas, this past Christmas. And then we just got Denji and Power, and I just stacking them up the wall. Find ways to display them to where you can enjoy them. If I can't enjoy it, then I don't need to have it. And I wasn't enjoying all those Barbies. They went to little girls who have a great time with them. So that was a win. Or the Sailor Moon figures. My friend, she had always liked Sailor Moon as much as I did, but her parents are a little strict about the collecting and stuff. So I was like, here, my parents don't care what I buy with my money. You know, so I gave them to her. So you find those ways to make your collection grow, but you can still enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it, if it's like suffocating you, it might be time for change. Like I did the same with books. I have a lot of books, but there are books that I read and books that I don't. I have a chest to my right here, and it's like an old antique looking thing, but it holds all my paperbacks and all my hardbacks. My English literature is on the bottom level of this thing, and like all of my, and when I say English lit, I'm talking like, you know, the Charles Dickens, the Ernest Hemingways, all that kind of stuff. But then like all my sci-fi, my Asian authors, they're in the top. So if they don't fit in there, I don't keep them. And I have given books away. I once accidentally bought a double of a book, Snowflower and the Secret Fan, because I couldn't find mine. I wanted it to take it with me on a trip because I've read that book 37 times. I couldn't find it. Then I found it and I ended up giving the duplicate to someone. So if you can part with a figure, make somebody else's day happy. Like I have figures I want to give away on the channel, but I've not gotten to the numbers yet that will enable me to do that. So those figures are just going to hang out until we get there. And when we get there, I 100% want to give them away. Like, I never collected Star Trek stuff until Lower Deck showed up. But I never was into collecting the Star Trek stuff. I never really collected much for Star Wars. I love both Star Trek and Star Wars. They were just never in my wheelhouse of, ooh, yes, need that figure. So we all have things we love. And all of that to say, this Blood Angel needs to come out the box so I can make more space. So sip coffee with me. Love this coffee. Got this particular cup on our honeymoon last year in Cozumel. We both got one, and we try to have coffee together every morning if we are able, but it doesn't always work out. Today was one of those days where he had to go to his lab. He's an engineer, and I work from home unless I'm traveling, so. The coffee in here is a Korean brand. Have you ever seen a Maxim coffee? It's a coffee that comes in like a individually packaged portions, which a lot of stuff in Asia does. It comes individually packaged, which if you're single, you can always cook for one over there because they got packaging down. But Maxim particularly, like, because when I go to Mexico with my Taekwondo mission group, like that's the coffee our instructor always wants us to bring, or we go find at a Korean grocery there. And I just learned to love it over time. The one that I get is in the gold, is the Maxim Gold, so it's got the sugar and the creamer already in there. Dump it, add water, boom, you've got coffee, and it's delicious. But they have it without sugar, they have it without cream. I particularly like the gold kind. It's quite lovely, and it's just easy coffee. And it's perfectly proportioned. Like, you don't need to add anything. Like, they got, like, the ratios exactly right. Yeah, that's not why y'all are here. I am still talking and have not opened this thing. So, Blood Angels. Not my favorite Legion, which is part of the reason I'm okay with opening this. I'm not a Blood Angels follower. Y'all know the Legions that I love the most. The one that I'm about to finish. I'm about to finish my kill team for... wow, I just said they're my favorites and completely blanked. For my word bearers, about to finish that kill team. Actually going to a paint party later this evening. My husband's going to D&D and I'm going to paint. So he's challenged me to see if I can paint one figure in an evening. Because last time we did a paint party where, you know, you buy figures and you paint them. I did too. So I painted this little Duck Knight. And I'm not going to lie, I love the way he came out. He turned out great, didn't he? Like, he looks great. Come on, focus. Don't focus on me. Focus on the duck. There we go. Haha, I had to block myself. But he turned out great. And now I painted him in like an hour. And then there was like this little warrior koala. He was great too. So, yeah. 2.5 hours I painted both of these. So he was like, why don't you just bring a Space Marine? Because the way that I paint like a panel at a time. We'll see. Because I'm so obsessive with my paint jobs. I moved and now my light is like, I can't see you. You know what? We're going to keep it because the light is still working for her. He's like, you can paint one panel, you like this little one panel painting. Why don't you try priming them in their base color and then painting them? I was like, no. I literally paint every bit individually because I'm that way. But I've got to get faster because I've got my Adeptus Titanicus that I want to put together. But then there is an event in June at our favorite hobby shop where people who play Heresy are coming together, and I got 2 Heresy armies that I need to build. So I'm going to have to attempt to get faster. But I've got my Bearers of the Word in progress, almost done. So the next thing I need to shift to will be probably my Titans. I really want to do an Emperor's Children kill team, but that's probably going to wait till later in the year because Emperor's Children is my other favorite Chaos Space Marine Legion because I love Fulgrim. He's crazy and he's great. Fulgrim just out there living his best Fulgrim life. Angel Exterminatus, we're all into it. But then as far as Loyalist Legions, my favorites are the Salamanders and the Ultramarines, which in my Heresy box, that's what I'm going to create. Although I haven't decided who gets the Terminator. There's 1 Terminator in that box. No, I'm sorry. No, there's 5 Terminators in the box and there's 1 Dreadnought. I don't know who's getting the Dreadnought. I don't know why I keep confusing the Terminators and Dreadnoughts. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell me. For the algorithm. But, yeah, I don't know who's going to get the Dreadnought. Because I have to bring a 1,000-point army, which I came into Warhammer for the lore. I didn't come in for the that. I didn't even know about the game until like several years into reading the novels. And I was like, man, it's great. And then I sucked at painting and never really got into the tabletop. And now I'm into the tabletop game as much as I am the reading. So, so many hobbies. But those are the legions that I love the most. Rabute's not wrong. Vulcan lives. Lorgar's not wrong. Fulgrim is fun. So those are the legions that I love. We all have legions we love. And I love what the Black Library and Games Workshop created there. Love or hate them, you know, with their ways and, you know, how they be putting stuff out. And then 2 years after you get your army built, like, oh, the rules have changed. You know, yeah, we all know. We know. But what I do love is that they've created a universe where everyone can organically find characters to connect with. I think that's where a lot of modern... Oh, my light decided to love me again. I think that's where a lot of modern properties have failed, is they're trying to force this, look, we made something for you. Look, this appeals to you, instead of just making it happen naturally. Like when you're talking about an empire that spans the entire known galaxy, there are obviously going to be many, 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 many types of people with many backgrounds and many cultures. And separation creates uniqueness. I mean, that's honestly how the cultures of our own planet, like there are aliens. There could be. I don't know. I'm not out there. If I was God, I'd have tried again. This was a failure. But somebody's going to come for me for that statement. Too late. I already said it and I'm not taking it out. But, when you're thinking about the grand scheme of the cosmos, like that's how the cultures of Earth happened, of our world, because of separation of time and geography. We developed, certain traits. We developed certain norms, certain mores. But then what's really funny is no matter how much people have been separated by time and by distance, when you study different cultures, we're all still after the same basic things. That's why Maslow's hierarchy of needs exists. The hierarchy of needs is not unique to a particular culture or creed. Everybody needs shelter and food. Everybody wants community. Everybody wants to provide for their children and their families the best way they can. Everyone needs spiritual fulfillment. Those are not unique to anyone. And when you go into the Warhammer universe, it's like they really took that and blew it up. They were like, no matter how far out into the cosmos humans go, we're still going to be humans. No matter how advanced our technology, no matter how strong we get, no matter how big and bad we think we are, we're still going to be humans. And what they did with the Primarch legions was create kind of microcosms of culture, small enough for me to feel unique when I like a particular legion, but broad enough that there's enough characters in there that I can find the one that reminds me of me. That's really clever. Which I think is why they have so many authors. That's the part that didn't make sense to me about the Black Library at first. It's like, what do you mean there's multiple authors all writing the same story? How does that work? It works. They're obeying the rules. They understand how the worlds were created. They understand the history. And they are even now creating, expanding the story. Now, the Siege of Terra has happened. I've got the omnibus in my cabinet over there. It makes me sad to open it because it's the end of an era. Like my entire late teens, 20s, like all my early adulthood, adolescence was spent in the Horus Heresy, and now it's ending. But that's the power of good writing. That's the power of good characters, good story. You get sucked in. You care about these characters. You see yourself in the characters. And I think that's one of the reasons I love Warhammer so much. I'm out here being a Warhammer apologist for some reason and still haven't opened this figure because they do a good job of organic inclusion, organic diversity. They are just running through the galaxy, and what you encounter is what you encounter, and everyone can find themselves somewhere in the cosmos. It's quite spectacular. Now, let's talk about this guy. The Blood Angels are an interesting legion. Not my fave, but still interesting. Like the White Scars, you'd think with as much as I'm into the anime and stuff, the White Scars and the Khan would have been like one of my faves. You ever try to paint something brilliant white? That did it for me. Painting something just like all you people who love the Tau, good for you. Because those are hard to make look good. But anyway, back to the Blood Angel. So the Primarch of the Blood Angels is Sanguinius. He is a unique Primarch. He is, unless you talk to Fulgrim, he is the most beautiful of the sons of the Emperor. He's the one with the wings. He's also called the Angel because of the wings. And honestly, I forget if he can fly. Can he fly? I have to look it up. I don't know if Sanguinius can fly. I feel like he can because Primarch can do some crazy things. But I don't think his wings let him fly. Someone drop down in the comments and let me know. Because I'm too lazy to look it up right now. But the Blood Angels are really interesting. So if you don't know, spoiler warning for a 40-year-old story, sip my coffee. So at the end of the heresy, how Horus Heresy comes to like the crescendo, the end, is the Emperor of mankind just simply doesn't want to believe that Horus has betrayed him. Horus is his favorite son. He and Horus were out kicking butt and taking names throughout the galaxy before the other brothers were discovered and their legions established. It was the Emperor and Horus. That's why Horus was top dog and got to be the war master. And we've read Minkalesque, that the title War Master was not unique to just the Primarch legions. They weren't just unique to the Astartes, but to have the title of War Master means you are over all the people. Like, you're above the generals, you're above the admirals, you're above all the above. He was second only in the known galaxy, so basically the universe. Horus is only second to the Emperor of Mankind. The only other person to hold that kind of status would be Malcador the Sigillite, the Emperor's right-hand dude. It's so sad what happens, because when finally the siege of Terra happens, and like all my friends who have read it are like, have you read it? I'm like, I know what happens. I don't need to read it. So I had to buy the $30 omnibus because I had to have it. Collection's gonna collect. But it's not so much that it happens, but you don't know how it happens. We know what's coming, but if you've not read it, you don't know how. And I've got to get in and read the how of it happening. After I finish Minka Lesk and Fabius Bile, then it's going to be that. I read like the first few chapters. I was like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. But in the siege of Terra, so taking over, trying the forces of Horus, of Chaos, all the traitor legions, getting in to Earth, breaking the defenses. They bring down the orbital base on the moon. Like, yeah, nothing's sacred in the future. Like, everything that we know, gone. Nothing is what it is. They bring down the base on the moon. They've taken over Mars. Like, everything is higgledy-piggledy. There's a set of words. Horus and his forces break into the palace in the Himalaysian mountains. And Sanguinius and the Blood Angels are part of the tactical defense of Terra. It's interesting because the Blood Angels, they're more aerial, so like their air bombardments are second to none. Like, each legion has a specialty. Aerial attacks are the specialty of the Blood Angels. So if you play Blood Angels, there's probably a lot of planes in your army. If you've built like a 3,000 point army, there's a lot of flyers and whatnot. Shoo, fly out. It's great. Horus encounters, he's after the Emperor. His goal is to get the Emperor. He's not after anybody else. He's after Father. That's who he's going for. And Sanguinius is the last defense between Horus and the Emperor. And a great duel happens, which, from what I understand, is going to be a whole thing. Can't wait to read it. A duel happens. And in that duel, Horus kills Sanguinius, but he doesn't just kill him. The Emperor's like rushing in. He's coming to intervene. He is seeing with his own eyes Horus fight his brother to the death, and he never meant any of his sons to have enmity with one another. Like, that's not why he created them, and his whole world is breaking down. To be a being so long-lived and to see so much and do so much, and to see your creation behaving in a way they never were supposed to, it broke the Emperor in that moment. But, oh wait, there's more. Horus, in the fight, after he's done beating Sanguinius bloody, raises the angel above his head. And you gotta remember, these are titanic beings. The Primarchs, if the Space Marines are like 5 times the size of a human, the Primarchs are like 3 times the size of a Space Marine. So we're like here. You know, like, they're huge. Like, they're titans of humanity. He raises Sanguinius above his head, and he brings him down on his knee and breaks Sanguinius's back over his knee. And that is what the Emperor saw, and that was the moment. After everything else that happened, took that. After everything else that happened, Emperor, that was the moment the Emperor was like, yeah, Horus is crazy. I need to do something about this. How could you kill your brother in front of your father? Like, it's a whole thing. Can't wait to read it. It's going to be a thing. I can't wait to read that one on the channel someday. It'll be later in the year, probably. But that's the moment. And what that does to the Blood Angels in their collective memory is it breaks them as well. When Sanguinius breaks, the Blood Angels break. So they have kind of an internal nightmarish blight that takes them over in that moment. Throughout history, from the 30K into 40K into where we are now in the Warhammer history, they all suffer the experience of Sanguinius's death over and over. Yeah, like they were there It's just in their collective consciousness. Once that gene seed is put into you, you got it, basically. It's almost, I would put it akin to the blight that Fulgrim's Emperor's Children had. You know, they had a genetic blight. Like, if once you got the gene seed, boom, you were warped. Same kind of deal going on here. And as they progress in the Legion, the longer they're in the Legion, the stronger those nightmares become, until the point that it drives them mad. They are forever reliving the end of Sanguinius, which incidentally seems to make them more loyal. There's some psychology in there. I don't know what it is, but those of you who do that. But these are very strong fighters for the Emperor. I mean, they're all physically strong, but I mean mentally strong. Because to see something like that happen, to see your leader fall in the worst way possible, not just physically, but just, it's humiliating. It's just the worst. And for them still to double down and be loyal, that's a stalwart group of fighters. So you can't help but admire them. But again, they still were never, the group that most appealed to me. There's someone out there that Blood Angels, they're your jam. Good for you. And I know you're going to say, well, they look just like them Word Bears. No, they don't. This is Blood Angels red. Word Bearer red and Blood Angels red are not the same red. It's like saying this red and that. These are not the same red. Okay? All right? Are we clear? Okay, good. Let's open him. Do love good box art. So here's what he's supposed to look like when we get him unpacked. So, ooh, what is that? Oh, that's just something from McFarlane. So this is a McFarlane figure. So that Adepta Sororita that I opened a while back, she was a McFarlane. I happened to find these at Target. I was, at Target during the thing. And he just fell into my cart. That's how it happened. That's my story. That's how I'm sticking to it. He jumped off the shelf and said, "For the Emperor." And then he came home with me. So, no, seriously. So if you didn't know, which I'm sure everybody does by now, there's like the toy section, which that's where a lot of my Transformers come from. It's just, I'm serious, like toy section. Like, no joke. A lot of the, like that Optimus Prime I just got that's like the game figure, toy section of Walmart. No joke. But both of those stores, I keep going back to Walmart and Target because I don't know of another big box retailer that's, because Kmart's gone. I can't think of another one that's like them. So that's where I go, because that's what's around here. Trail of thought just went away. Yeah, so if you didn't know, there's a section in those, ow, hit my elbow. Separate from just the general toy section. Usually over by like the media area, like over by like the TVs and the headphones and that kind of thing, where you can just basically buy nerd toys. That's where the Funko Pops are hidden. Where's my dog? Okay, the dog is in here today. So, oh, well, look at that. I didn't know this. You can buy them unpainted. I have enough to paint. Nope. 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 Wait, no. I have enough things to paint. There's a whole Titan, a Warhound getting printed for me. He's going to be 2 feet tall, so no. Anywho, but thank you, McFarlane. So we don't need this box. But, yeah, over there in that section, like, that's where the Funko Pops are hidden. Like, you can find, like, horror movie toys over there, that kind of thing. No, that is not where I got these, although it would have been the right spot. The particular Target I was in when I got these two, when I got the Sororita and this Blood Angel, it was in the general toy aisle. There was just a little carved out section of nerd toys on the Transformer aisle. Huh, memories. I've gone so many places and done so many things that once in a while the memories run together. But yeah, I just remember, yeah, these did not come from the nerd section. And that's why they ended up jumping in my cart. Because I couldn't believe they were there. I was like, why are these over here? And they were on sale. They were like $10 a piece. Like, I didn't pay nothing for them. Oh my goodness, he is trapped in here. He's heavy. When I place him, I'm going to have to make sure he can't fall. Oh, okay, so tape on the back. Okay, let's need my multi-tool. Okay, she's gonna punch herself in the nose. Use the tool. That's why you have it. Oh, and she's gonna spill her coffee. I was about to do this, and my coffee's sitting right there. I was like, oh, girl, that'd be dumb. I am using the wrong part of the multi-tool. Excuse me. While I fix myself. Like, why isn't it cutting? Because that's not a knife. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Okay, there we go. All right. So, oh my God, and his waist. What? Look, I get it. Packaging matters. All you people who do this, thank you. You're doing the Lord's work. Let's find ways to where we can package it securely and get the figure out. Oh, so now he's just out of the box. That's his stand. I have to extricate him from his plastic prison. Oh, God. Okay. That is tight. How am I going to... One of these days, I'm going to take a finger off. It's just going to happen. Why is he so heavy? I mean, that's a well-made figure. So if he hits the ground, anything under him is going to get destroyed. There we go. I think I have to get the gun out before him. Look, little janky ASMR for you. So that's quite the rifle. Wow, that is huge. I mean, it's half the size of my hand. So we like that one. We like him. So he's going to be fun to pose. Oh, his jetpack. These are like the most tedious thing to paint when you're painting, at least for me, when I'm painting my armies. The jetpacks just, and then there's like 30 to choose from, unless you're painting like a Terminator set or something. I was like, which jetpack do I use? They're all different. And then it's hard to get that uniform look because all the jetpacks look different, but whatevs. So this will clip onto his back. The big difference between the Space Marine men and the Adepta Sororitas, remember, is the armor. And the genetic augmentation. So the female Space Marine, because of, you know, religious reasons, they can't have all of the genetic augmentation and the physical mechanical augmentation that the men have. The men they're barely human when they're done making them Space Marines. But the novitiates, they must remain human. So in a sense, they're kind of stronger than the men because they're out there kicking butt and taking names without all of the enhancements. Ow, ow, ow. He was not going to get damaged in shipping. Oh, wow. He doesn't even need a base. What is the base for? Look at him. I can just hold him in my hand and he stands up. That is a well-made figure. He's great. Let's give him the spin. Give him the spin. Admire his booty. I mean, I'm going to take the stand out, but let me set him on my... Will he just stand up? Nah, he kind of needs a thing under his foot. He's got a little counterweight on him. Okay, so pack goes here. Okay, so that's not coming off. And then his blaster. I tossed the box and I don't know how to put the blaster in his hand. Oh, yes, I do. One hand is in hold the pew-pew shape and one is hold the other side shape. This is the part that always freaks me out because I'm scared I'm going to bust their hands open. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. And then, okay, so then he holds posing. The posing is everything. Okay, I can't see his face. There we go. Well, how come you can never get him to look as cool as they do on the box? He's going to take a little bit of manipulation, because if I do that... He's on the desk. 1 second. Come on. I feel like he needs to come forward a little bit. I mean, he's not going to let go of it. Maybe this needs to be further in. Maybe that's where I'm wrong. I'm thinking this hand needs to come further in to get the right grip. Nope, still not going to stay. Ah! Well, I just... But this is right up there with trying to transform the Transformers. I mean, now we could just, melee him. But the gun's too heavy. See, he has to hold it with the other hand. So there's no way that this is a one-handed. I think he's just holding this. But I can't figure out how to get him to hold it without it sliding forward. Because the fingers are not articulated. He's got good articulation in his elbows. Oh, there we go. So I scooted his elbow up and now he's holding it. I kind of don't like it in front of his face like that, though. That's going to take some work to get him to stand the way I want. He will be a project later. Every bit in here just has to be. I tell you what, if you collect action figures, you are doing your part to destroy the planet. The stand. All right, so we don't need these bits anymore. There are so many, like I usually just toss this over my shoulder, but now I'm realizing how many little plastic rubber bands are down here. My dog isn't here. He doesn't really chew on stuff, but still, let's not take risk. So which foot does this go under? Oh, it can go under either. So this will make him more stable because he's kind of leaning forward on one foot. There we go. Yep, that does make him more stable. I still don't see how I get this gun to stay. But we like him, don't we? Yeah, we're happy with this. He looks great. I love the red eyes. Like, if you do build figures in paint, make sure you look up to find out what color the eyes in their helms are. Very important detail to get right. My bearers of the word, green. Makes him pop. Boy, she can get 40 minutes out of opening one figure. This is why I'm a corporate trainer. I'm paid to talk because she likes to talk. So what do we think? Do we love him? I think we love him. I can't wait to find a place for him to live. Back there. I think I know where he's going to go. There's a Technique box over there that I need to put together, so I think I'm going to swap him for that. Then he'll be next to his battle sister, and they will look great together. In my headcanon, they're dating. They're not, but in my headcanon they are. So, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.